You didn't wow us with your defensive coordinator abilities.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. He might one day. But we wanted to see, can you wow us with as a recruiter again? He's absolutely doing that. I'm pumped about this. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Scarlet N Great podcast, all you audio listeners and the YouTube viewers. Welcome back to Ohio State football with Scarlet N Great. This is Johnny Bullet and your fearless co-host, Florida Cory, the White Buffalo Thompson, joining us.
Oh, you brought White Buffalo back. Nice.
That's right. What's behind you there, Cory?
I don't know. It's a secret.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you're a huge Buckeye nut, please subscribe to this channel.
That's what's behind me.
Please subscribe to this channel if you're a huge Buckeye nut. We have gotten over 1,500 subscribers. We'd love to get 2,000 by Independence Day, 4th of July. Celebrate America by getting the subscribers up to 2,000. And like this video and comment if you're a huge Buckeye nut. Comment, let us know where you're watching from. I love to know when Buckeye fans are viewing around the world. And if you like this video, please hit it with a like. If you don't support the troops, give this video a dislike. Today, we're going to talk about a big-time boom, a huge commitment in the 2022 recruiting class. Terance Brooks, a 4-star corner, a high 4-star out of Little Elm, Texas. 5'11", 190-plus pounds. A nice corner added to this class. What's huge about this, guys, besides the corners, is the money position. Like they say in the NFL, you see who the important positions: quarterback, defensive end, pass rusher, left tackle, and corner. We got a huge corner here with him. He's a great player. Bama and Texas were battling it out for this guy. We offered 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden he's a Buckeye. That is awesome to know the state of this cornerback recruiting, the Ohio State recruiting in general. And we know when Kerry Coombs came back, we were hoping, can you bring that old Kerry Coombs mentality, that Marshawn Lattimore recruiting, that Wade Okuda type recruiting? Can you bring that back? Because you didn't wow us with your defensive coordinator abilities.
Not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. He might one day. But we wanted to see, can you wow us with as a recruiter again? He's absolutely doing that. I'm pumped about this. And it's awesome to know the state of the union, even with what happened in a national championship game. And even with Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator at Bama for that game, who had his way with Combs. And he goes to Texas.
We never saw Smith coming. So
how could we have known that the guy was any good or would be part of the game plan? And then you go Saban and Sarkisian going head to head for this guy, and with the recent past, the recent history, that we're able to just walk in the room and go, "You come here, you can be Buckeye. Okay, let's leave these two clowns in the dust." Ohio State, as you can see now in the top right corner of your screen, owns the state of Texas. If they didn't already, we own Texas. Scarlet N Great owns Texas. Johnny and Cory here and Shane Larson are part owners of the massive acreage of Texas and Longhorn Nation. I want to say, Cory, I am most pumped about this because we needed corners. Now, granted, we did good in the last class, but we're thin. I'm not impressed. I'm not so sure the 2021 on the field corners are going to be great. Call me a cynic. I'm not so sure they're going to be great.
There's a couple of them that have a lot of high hopes, man.
No, the starting corners. On the field.
Okay, I got you. I think in the class. Sorry.
Yeah, no. The starting corners on the field. I'm not so sure they're going to be great.
Wait, Seven Banks hype train is up and running, man.
I don't see it. But anyway, it might be. But anyways, we need great corners. Again, Kerry Coombs, can he at least do the one thing we know he can do, and that's recruit corners really well. Jaheim Singletary. Okay. All right, you got him in the class. Now I'm listening. And then you go at a 4-star kid who's a high 4-star, like the number 8 player in Texas or something like that. I like top 10 players in Texas.
They've turned out pretty good for us.
Yeah, as a state that I own and I'm proud to own, that's pretty awesome.
I thought you own Cleveland.
I do own Cleveland.
Man, gosh. Okay, bad investment, good investment. Got it. Okay.
I just one's a flip, one's a renovation, one's already.
Gotcha.
Anyways, what I'm so excited at now, you got two dogs. We needed two dogs, two studs in the room, Corey. And it's not so. Hey guys, real quick in the comments, type on a scale from 1 to 10. How excited are you that we have Singletary and this guy? Corey, I'm going to jack it. I'm a 10. This is as close as you can get to a Wade Okuda, in the same class as I think is reasonable. You know what I mean? So I'm going a 10 to have both these guys in the class. Guys, type in the comments what you think, 1 to 10 to have both these guys in the same class. Corey, talk a little bit how Coombs has resurrected this defensive back room.
Well, we know the history of our recruiting in DB recruiting. I mean, we had one basic 5-star in Tyreek Johnson, who now resides in Omaha. And he never really saw the field at Ohio State. And I'm not saying this to cut on a kid, but it just didn't. I don't want to say bust, but come on, it just didn't pan out, right? And we'd been desperate for corners, and that's where I actually sympathize a little bit with Kerry Coombs. Combs, sorry, I'm so used to saying Coombs. Combs, like hair comb. Kerry Coombs. It looks like Coombs. Okay, that's not my fault.
It does.
Anyways, a lot of people sound it out. Okay.
That's what I've been doing.
Anyways, he came into a situation where the secondary was kind of depleted, right? Sean Wade, who did not play well at outside corner, but did excel at the slot corner. And to be fair to Sean, that's where he was trained his whole time at Ohio State. So it is what it is. He walks into a room where you're depending on Cam Brown to be ready. He gets hurt second game or something like that, out for the season. Sevyn Banks, first time starting. He had an up and down year, let's just be honest. Secondary was pretty bad. But again, the depth wasn't there. Tyreek Johnson, a 5-star, should have at least been in a two-man rotation. And he wasn't. And so what did Kerry Coombs? Kerry Coombs try. He was tasked with rebuilding this room, Johnny. And guarantee you, when he came back to Ohio State, Ryan Day said, dude, I understand what the roster looks like. It's up to you. You got to get your recruiting powers back up. Like you've said before, Johnny, it's probably a big reason why they brought him back.
Guy can recruit. The one thing. Yeah, it's the feather in the cap, right? The top of the resume. Like, how good of a defensive coordinator will you be? Well, I will get good players for me to call the defense with.
Maybe you turn out to be a good defense coordinator eventually. It didn't work out the first year, but how much of it is we didn't have the personnel,
Right. So having great players is, 3/5 of being a great DC.
Yeah. I wonder why Bama wins all those titles. I know Saban's a great coach, but
a bunch of scrubs on defense. They have great defense.
Terrible. Yeah, he takes all these 3-stars and makes them. And that's another thing about beating Nick Saban personally for Brooks. If that don't tell you how Brooks was coveted, Brooks was. Kerry Coombs walked right into Texas, said, "No, that dude's mine. I dibs everybody." But anyway, look at the 2021 class coming in. Jordan Hancock and Ja'Kalen Johnson are the two studs. You figure they're going to be on the field quickly. They both got on the campus late, but still they're just too good to keep out the field. Especially Jordan Hancock is the one everybody seems to point to. We flipped him from Clemson. Clemson puts out some pretty good players last I checked. So anyway, they have a pretty good program. In
the South, that's a program.
Exactly. And Denzel Burke is a 3-star kid from California, I believe, who is actually surprising in camp right now. He's looking pretty good as a freshman. Johnson Dunn figures to be a pretty solid safety. He reminds me a lot of Malcolm Jenkins. I brought him up. Andrew Turrentine and Andre Turrentine and Jalen Johnson are in there as well. Figure to be safety prospects. That's another thing, rebuilding that safety room. Outside of Proctor and Ransom, I don't know what you really have at safety. And that's just for this year. Then 2022 class, like you mentioned, 5-star, all otherworldly Jaheim Singletary, however you say his name. I apologize, from Jacksonville, Florida. Same school as Sean Wade, same school as Tyreek Johnson. Sean Wade had a tough last year, but I still say he worked out nicely.
He's great. In his natural position, he'd probably went down as the best nickel ever at Ohio State.
Yeah, not only that, but he could do everything: cover, tackle. He's a hitter. It didn't matter. He could roam and do everything. And Marcus Crowley, another kid from that school who's a different position. Well, jury's still out, but he figures to be a pretty good player if he gets a chance. injuries are slowing him down, unfortunately, as is for a lot of players. It happens, seems to be that. But Singletary, 5-star otherworldly corner. We're hoping he sticks. He's allegedly, he kind of shot this notion down where Dave Biddle reported that he has shut his recruitment down. I don't know why Dave Biddle would know. And then Jaheim I'm sorry, I'm saying his name wrong. Jaheim. I keep wanting to say Jaheim. Singletary.
I think it's Coombs Singletary.
Thank you. Singletary pointed out that I hadn't talked to anybody. I don't know where so it doesn't mean he hasn't shut it down. I just don't know. I hope he has.
That gave me a scare. That I was like, I had the fire Kerry Coombs tweet in drafts ready. I didn't really, but I was thinking about it.
It's like Larry Johnson just lost Ohio defensive end.
So no, that tweet's in the draft.
Yeah, you're ready to go. Yeah, and of course Terance Brooks, Jair Brown, a guy that people forget about. He was the first corner commit to the class. He actually came from Louisiana to Ohio. And Ryan Turner, by the way, is a guy, 3-star kid. Okay, 88 Florida DB. We're going to have to battle to keep him. That's how coveted he is. I don't care about the ranking on that one. We got a gem in that one. Denzel Ward was a 3-star. I just want to remind people. I mean, you don't have to be a 5-star to be a good corner. And they like him a lot. And Kerry's found those 3-star gems from time to time. Remember, Jamel Dean was not a 4 or 5-star kid. Remember the kid who came here, had to transfer right away because we said he couldn't play because of his knee. He goes to the freaking Auburn, starts. Now he's starting in the NFL. I mean, so
would have been nice to have him last year.
Yeah, it would have been nice, huh? Yeah. Carlton Davis, another guy starting in the NFL now, went to Auburn instead of us. But again, Kerry's been known to be able to find these gems, kind of like Luke Fickell a little bit. He's been known. So when a guy like Ryan Turner comes and commits and he's 3-star and people like, kind of, I just want to say are down on it. I say, well, look, there's a team's coveting him. We're going to try have to fight like crazy to keep him at Ohio State.
Well, last 3-star corner we got, Saban went and took. So there was something there. Obviously, he was.
Kerry knows how to find a corner. It's not. I mean,
Kerry can do it both. He can do the diamond in the rough that Michigan thinks every one of their recruits is because they have to stay in the rough. Yeah, they think they're Wisconsin, but he also goes and gets the name up in lights guy. Yeah, and he does both, which is awesome. And it's awesome to see that he still can. It's awesome to see that he still can, because honestly, like, if he couldn't do that anymore, I'd be like, you better turn out to be
keeping him. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you better turn out to be a lot better D coordinator than you were, because if you're not going to be a great recruit, because things do pass people by from time to time. It's not past Kerry by, but it could. If it did, I would, like you said, it'd be hard to keep you, man.
But to give him a credit, this is his second recruiting cycle with Ohio State, back with Ohio State, and he's killing it. And
you know who I'm excited about in that room you're talking about?
What's that?
I'm most excited about. I don't think Kerry didn't recruit him, but he will be responsible partly for developing him and Barnes and stuff. I think Watts is going to be a good player.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see his development. Ryan Watts figures to play a lot this year, so you're going to need him. You need that rotation. You need more than just 2 guys on the outside and a decent slot. You need 2 to 3 guys behind those guys to play well, because you're going to need a lot of rotation with them, especially with today's passing game. How pass happy NFL or even college offenses are, even in the Big Ten. You need to have that rotation. Not to mention in the Big Ten with all the spread offenses, you need to be able to tackle in space too. So they're going to have to take a beating and cover relentlessly. So and we play a lot of man press coverage.
And not to mention how Urban has started this. I think we're going to continue this. How aggressive we are at special teams. Like Ryan Watts screams he could be a special team star this year.
I also want to mention Kai Stokes, a safety prospect we got in the secondary, is another 3-star. But again, I trust Kerry like I do a Larry Johnson or Luke Fickell or whatever on 3-stars, because he's proven it in the past. And so, and not only that, it's a rangy athlete. You can just put him anywhere. So he'll probably end up being a safety. But Johnny, we do have some other potential booms coming up.
Yeah, let's hit them quickly before we end the show. Of course, J.T. Tuimoloau. We're gonna mess that up.
Say it right. You just say it right, man. Sound it out.
If all goes, JT Coombs, if all goes as planned, will be a 5-star defensive end, otherworldly type player, and
Yeah.
he'll merit
Or
his
Bill
own.
Green is saying it's done. It's just a matter of when, not if, and we'll see. I believe it's done too. But again, he's going to take his time.
I'm thinking Wednesday, Thursday. If I
Well,
had to,
it is
or it is
Wednesday.
Wednesday, so Wednesday night, and I would think, I thought Wednesday earlier in the week. Now that I haven't heard any, so I'm thinking Thursday, Friday. So uh, after him, another defensive line guy for the 22 class, Chris McClellan,
Mm.
McClellan, excuse me. Obviously, more depth, more rotation, more guys. Maybe an interior guy there.
Did you see what
And
Oklahoma fans were saying about him?
no, I didn't. What was?
All of a sudden, since he looks like he's committing to Ohio State, well, we didn't want him anyway.
I'm sure
They're
you
doing the
didn't.
old fan thing, like I coached against him. I saw him in high
Oh, that
school.
was him. Yes, I saw that. We just ran right at him and down blocked, and he was not, I'm okay. Maybe all right, but I trust
I trust
what
Larry
Larry
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yep. Class of 2022 offensive tackle Cam Dewberry, another Texas guy, right?
Yeah, he says he loved the visit. Offense. 95 rating. Steve Wilfong just gave him a 6 confidence. I hate that confidence thing, by the way.
And they won't go higher than that because they know it drives clicks to the site.
Exactly. It's like they won't say 9, But anyway, he said he had one of his best visits ever. He's with Ohio State recently, and Wilfong is pretty good. So it's something to watch out for. And honestly, it's a stud needs these wins right now because he's been taking a lot of heat. And I think I'll be honest with you, Johnny. I think it's coming out looking like it's what we said originally is that stud struggled a little bit when we couldn't have visits. Like
Yeah.
J.C. Latham couldn't come to Ohio State. The guy, good one. That's what I'm thinking of. Couldn't come to Ohio State, and people crashed on Stud for that. I'm not saying Stud is like the best recruiter we've ever had or anything like that, but I think he does well enough, and I think our offensive lines have proven to be pretty good. So
yeah, it's hard to when Alfred's really in his bag. He's a really good recruiter. Heartline's otherworldly all the time. When Kerry Coombs is on his game, he's fantastic. Larry John, fantastic. It's like he's the pretty girl next to supermodels. Well,
yeah, that's kind of how
you're
it
the
is.
5th most attractive girl in here. Well, yeah, I'm still really pretty. Just, and yeah, he's missed on some guys too. Don't get me wrong. He probably, if what you're saying is true, he's probably this. I'm a really good recruiter in person. I'm not the best texter, FaceTimer, that type of guy. But once he gets in person, he maybe does a little bit better. And, not everybody's Brian Hartline. And that's fine. I mean, he's just going to have that.
We're getting a little spoiled by that. Let's be real.
He kills it. If he can kill it every other class, right? Which he kind of on pace for. Like this year wouldn't be a year he killed it, but he's getting some wins, right? He's brought in Paris Johnson before other players. If he can kill it or have a fantastic tackles every few years and just be good and develop, right? Ohio State brand, decent recruiter, then develop, then your O-lines are going to be good enough.
Yeah, and look at the run games the last couple of years. We're doing fine. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, Corey. Anything else before we end this one really quick?
No, guys. Big boom. Be excited about it. Terance Brooks is a great player, great pickup. Kerry Coombs. Kerry Coombs does it again. I'm just going to take a while to break this.
Yep. We'll get out of here and try again next time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. Always like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, audio listeners who are listening. As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.